This is Jesse Morrill, Academic Dean at Liberty Common High School, and in this presentation I'll be talking about the pre-registration process for current 8th graders who are planning their courses for their 9th grade year. For 8th graders, your registration materials will include your curriculum guide. You will not have a transcript yet because you are not in high school at this point, but you will receive a curriculum guide, and we want to make sure you put your name on the guide because we do not have enough to replace lost curriculum guides. Today we'll begin selecting your classes for next year, and so during this process you will actually be selecting your course requests. You'll have some time to go over that with your parents before finalizing your requests with me. But this is an important process, and we want you to really consider what you're planning to take for your 9th grade year. The curriculum guide is a very important document that you have which contains a lot of the information that you're going to need for the registration process. What we're looking at now is a sample portion of the curriculum guide that you can find online. And of course you'll have the hard copy yourself. This guide, the first several pages, has information about college admissions requirements, about our school in general, and lots of other things that you want to read through with your parents. But the bulk of the guide includes information like we're seeing here, which are course descriptions. So just to help you get started with how to read these descriptions, when you're looking at a course, for example Spanish 2, you can see that 10 credits is listed here, which means it's a one-year course, a year-long course. If it said 5 credits, that would be a semester-long course. When we look at requirements met, you can see that Spanish 2 meets the foreign language requirement. You can see all of the requirements on page 8 of the curriculum guide, and you can refer to that page when you're looking at the requirements met category under the course description. Prerequisites means that Spanish 1 is a class that you have to take and pass before you can take Spanish 2. Some classes do not have prerequisites, but many do, and you'll want to pay attention to that when you're selecting courses. And then of course grades. When you're looking at 9th grade, you want to make sure that the courses you're looking to take are offered to 9th graders. To talk generally about requirements, now we're going to go into graduation requirements in a little more detail here in just a minute, but you do need 240 credits to graduate from Liberty Common High School, and there are some credit benchmarks where you can see here that you need to reach to move on to the next grade level. As a 9th grader, and every year in high school, you are required to be in at least 35 credits or 7 classes per semester, so that would be 70 credits for the entire year. So we look at the flow chart here. You can see what you've been taking in 7th and 8th grade, and then what you're going to be required to take in 9th grade and beyond. 9th grade is pretty requirement heavy. There are 60 core elective requirements or core credits that you do have to take in 9th grade, which leaves you with 20 elective credits remaining for courses for next year. When we look at the graduation requirements, let's talk about each of these in just a little bit of detail. So this is everything that you're going to have to complete while you're in high school at Liberty in order to receive your diploma. You can see at the bottom here you need to get to a total of 240 credits, but you also have to fulfill all of the requirements listed in the table up here. So as you're looking through, you can see for English you do need 45 credits. You'll have an English class every year that you're in high school, and you'll have some options when you get to your senior year. In history, also a 45 credit requirement. In 9th grade, you'll have economics and Western civilization, so you'll knock 20 of those credits out in 9th grade. Then you'll go on to world history in 10th grade, U.S. history as a junior, and American government generally would be a senior year course. For math, you need 40 credits of math in order to graduate, so you'll stay in math all 4 years that you're in high school in order to meet that requirement. For science, you do have 40 credits that are required. 3 of these classes are set for you. You do have to take biology, chemistry, and physics, and then you'll have a science elective option as well. Foreign language includes 30 credits, 3 years of foreign language. We have Spanish, French, or Latin to choose from. Personal finance is a 5 credit requirement that students take as a junior or senior. And then Introduction to Engineering is a 5 credit requirement that you would take in your 10th grade year. Although 9th graders are allowed to take that class if you are currently in Algebra 2 or above. Health and PE, you do have a 5 credit requirement there. And so you get to 215 total with required courses. That leaves you with 25 credits remaining that you would choose in terms of what you take to get to your 240. So that should give you a bit of an overview in terms of what you would need to take throughout your high school career. And now we're going to get started with selecting your classes for next year. In order to do that, you're going to log into PowerSchool. So you'll go to the Liberty Common High School website, you'll click on PowerSchool Login, and then you'll log in with your assigned numbers that you're going to receive during your presentation on Friday, February 1st. Once you have logged in, you'll click on Class Registration and you'll see this menu come up, which gives you the options that you have for registration for 9th grade. I'm going to go through each of these categories. For the most part, they're pretty cut and dry, especially for our first 6 classes, and then you'll have some options here down at the bottom. So when we click on the pencil, you'll see the options that come up for each category. For English, every 9th grader takes Western Literature, so you would go ahead and click on that and sign up for it. For history, every 9th grader does have to take economics and Western civilization, so you would sign up for both of those classes. For math, you are going to talk to your math teacher about what is the right math class for you for next year. There's a number of options. We go all the way up to Calc 3 eventually with math, but you want to talk to your math teacher about the best fit for you for next year. For science, every 9th grader takes biology for science, so that is a requirement. And then for foreign language, every 9th grader does have to take a foreign language. You can continue on with a language that you started in 8th grade, or you can start a new language. That would be up to you. You do have to get 3 years of a foreign language completed during your high school career. So now, as we scroll down to the bottom, you can see that I've already requested 60 credit hours, and we have a total of 80 credit hours that we have to get to. If you include study hall, which many students will sign up for study hall, that's also going to take up some credits. So if you were deciding to take a study hall during each semester of 9th grade, then you would be at really 70 credits now, and you only have 10 credits remaining for electives. So keep that in mind when you're looking at electives, that you're a little bit limited at this point. You'll have more flexibility as you move through high school to take more electives. But you do have just really 10 to 20 credits to choose from right now. Now, as we look at electives, we have music and theater. If you're a concert, band, or orchestra student, we highly recommend that you continue on with that and take advantage of the great music program that we have to offer here at the school. You also have some theater options in there as well in 9th grade. For PE and health, you do need 5 credits of PE during your high school career. You can choose from any of these 4 options to meet that requirement. And also playing a high school sport will meet the PE requirement as well. For art, we have a number of great options for art, and you'll want to refer to the curriculum guide on page 46 for the art rotation table, because there are a number of electives that are going to be offered over the next 3 years. They're not all offered every year, and so you'll want to plan accordingly if you're an art student who wants to take several of those art classes as you move forward. English electives. Now, on top of your required English class, we have a number of English electives that you can take. And if you do choose to take an English elective, this will go into the English elective requirement category that is a part of your graduation requirements. Number of great courses here. It's a diverse group of courses, and you should read about those in the curriculum guide. History elective. In a similar fashion, we have some history electives that you can take. You've got Civil War and Vietnam War. Also, government is an option for 9th graders. That is a graduation requirement at some point, but you don't have to take that in 9th grade unless you want to. Science electives. We have a few options here. You can take astronomy. Students can take chemistry. You do need to be in Algebra 2 or above, and understand that you would be in biology along with chemistry, so it can get a little heavy on the science side. Conceptual chemistry and physics is also an option for students who are interested in that class. Computer classes, we have a few options here. The computer classes are taught by Mr. Kranz, and he can answer many of the questions you may have about those options. Under other electives, now we have some electives such as Ancient Greek, Classical Mythology, and Vocabulary Mastery. There's also a woodshop class there, and Introduction to Engineering is an option. If you want to get started with engineering a little earlier, you do need to be in Algebra 2 or above as a 9th grader to take Introduction to Engineering. You'll also notice that Study Hall is in here. If you're planning to have a study hall during both semesters of your 9th grade year, then you would need to select both of these study halls. The SH 100 is a first semester study hall, 200 is a second semester study hall. It is very helpful to have a study hall in 9th grade as you're getting used to the high school rigor, and so I would certainly recommend that unless you just don't have that option based on the courses you need to take. So at this point, I've got 80 credits now on my schedule. And the last thing that I need to do is add alternate courses. So when I click on this pencil, you'll see there are 6 different pages of courses to look at. These are all the courses that are available for 9th graders. And you do need to choose at least 2 and up to 6 alternate options. The reason we need alternates, a couple things can happen with scheduling. One is that all of the courses that are in the curriculum guide will not all happen next year. If a course doesn't have enough students sign up for it, it won't go. And so there's a chance you could sign up for a class that doesn't get the required number of students signed up, and it won't be available. So we would need to go to a backup option. The other thing that happens is that we have conflicts with the schedule. So sometimes you may pick a course that is offered only one time during the day, and it just so happens that you have to have a required course during that period. So we have some schedule conflicts that can take place, so it's always good to have some backups that we can go to. So choose at least 2 and up to 6 backup options in your alternate category. When you're all done, you can click Submit. You can always go back into it and edit it some more, but by clicking Submit, it will save your choices for you for when you go back and look again. So the next part of the process is that you go home as a student and take this information and go over it with your parents. Show them the curriculum guide. Pull up PowerSchool and go over the form together and make some decisions on the courses that you plan to take. Once you're comfortable with the decisions that you've made, you need to sign up to see me by putting your name on my door calendar. It's taped on the window right next to my door, and during that meeting we will finalize your course selections. Bring your curriculum guide to the meeting so that we can have all the information available for us as we're looking at your options. You must meet with me by March 1st, okay, and that's important. Your courses are not finalized until we have that meeting. We must meet before March 1st in order to get those courses finalized and in the system. If you do not finalize your request with me by March 1st, then I will choose courses for you, and that is not what you want. I can get somewhat creative with those choice options, and you definitely want to be able to choose the courses that you take. Questions, do not hesitate to contact me by email or by phone. You can also come and see me in person, and I'm happy to help you through this process as you go from 8th grade to 9th grade, and we're excited to welcome in our newest freshman class to Liberty Common High School.